Hi there, beautiful souls. I'm Gabrielle, retired medium in Germany, and I like to share some of my otherworldly experiences and insights and what I learned along my journey, which might help you. So, this one is about the Elohim, which I channel. And I already told that I'm critical. And after they talked to me the first time, I started researching and found out that the Hebrew word Elohim is a plural. So it doesn't mean God, the one God. It means gods. So there's a plural. It's a collective. And I already felt that the Elohim talking to me are a collective. And I got the impression the angelic frequency is with them because I already had encounters with angelic beings. So I just recognized the energy. But I wanted to know more. And because I had this imprint shown to me of an incarnation, like a false memory, in my first QHHT, I knew that this first incarnation I was shown, but it wasn't my incarnation. I was told it's the incarnation of a sister soul. I was shown to learn from it. And all this was about an initiation in a temple in Sumeria, where they healed and initiated with light and sound, because the spoken word also is sound. And researching that, the whole Sumerian story about the Anunnaki that came down from the sky and created civilization, and suddenly the former hunter-gatherers, as we're told by science, they suddenly had like instant civilization. They had mathematics, they had astrology, agriculture, mathematics, and so on. Everything that's useful to build a civilization. And how can this be? And even on the clay tablets with the cuneiform written on it, they found, the archaeologists found, that they, the Sumerian people, wrote down, well, they got all this knowledge from the Anunnaki coming from the sky. So that opened up a whole rabbit hole for me. And after I found out that these were, how to put it, sky people from maybe another dimension coming down to Earth, and they were tinkering with our genetics. This wasn't the first time. And they brought also some things we still suffer from, like the Babylonian money systems and law and everything like that, the control mechanisms. So I wasn't very fond of them, and I got a bit angry because the feeling was, well, nobody asked my permission to tinker with my DNA. And then I found Paul Wallace from the Fifth Kind, which I can only recommend, and he's doing wonderful work with the ex-Bible translator from Italy, Mauro Biglino. And they're all about the Anunnaki, and that they were so-called the bad guys. They, sorry, they more or less just came here like Michael Tellinger found out to Earth to mine gold, and they were after the resources, and more or less abused the humans they found on this planet, because they were maybe higher evolved. They already managed space travel and things like that, and they had technology and everything. So after that, I was really doubting, because once I asked them and they said, well, it's the thing with the names. You put names upon everything, but how do you describe an always moving and changing frequency? That's an energy. Energy is moving in waveforms like sound. And the name you put upon it can never grasp the whole thing. So they said, we introduced ourselves to you as the Elohim because we thought that's the name you can maybe understand best, and you can find it in the Bible, and you did your research and you came across some new knowledge about the Anunnaki. We could also have used the name Anunnaki, but we don't like to use that name because it's got a very negative touch because of everything that happened. And then they told me, we are not these Elohim, these 200 watchers that came down, like it's told in the Bible, on the Mount Hermon in Israel and started the whole thing. They divided as the so-called fallen angels. They divided the earth under themselves. One got this country, the other one that part of the continent, and this land, and so on. And they also brought, because they were very much about battling and war and getting their own people and their own land, they brought more or less this idea of war to the world and instilled it. And we still have war. Look at the world outside, like it's in war and chaos and creating a lot of fear. So that's not a typical human thing, I think. It was brought here. And Dolores Cannon also got the information that so-called evil was brought onto Earth. That was the heck of the divine matrix, you can name it like that. Nowadays, a lot of people and scientists talk about simulation theory, and that's not really new for me, because the Rosicrucian knowledge is very much in lineage with, let's say, the Gnostics. And they knew about the Hecht matrix, the simulation. They said more or less that these forces that came down and descended into a lower dimension, which was Earth at that point in time, they came down and they installed all their stuff here, and they created a false matrix, which is more or less ruled by fear. And the divine matrix was created in love and had its own destination of where to evolve to. So the whole system was more or less compromised. And I mean, I'm critical. I don't believe anything just like that. I do my own research and I try to find out. Sometimes I can't find out because there's not yet proof on the material 3D scientific level to find proof about what they told me. But they gave me some kind of analogy which I found really helpful. And I don't think that the so-called negative forces of darkness they don't push you or emphasize you to do your own research or to think about it. They're always this controlling attitude. They say, it is like that, and you have to follow, and all this. Love and light never acts like that. Just look at the sun. It shines above the just and the unjust, and it doesn't judge and makes no difference. And what the just is doing with the light and the information he or she gets is up to him, is his responsibility, his ability to respond. There's no guilt, no shame, no mistake, nothing. It's just only about how do you respond to what you come to know or you encounter. And what the unjust is doing with the light is also his or her responsibility. So they said to me, there is an old Chinese saying, it's more or less a metaphor, and you can read it on the simple level and understand it there. But it's got layers and layers and layers of different viewpoints, different higher states of consciousness to be read with and to be understood with. So they came along with this Chinese saying, and it was about 3 on the way. And it's going like that. There are 3 people that are on the way to a destination, and if only one of them knows the way and how to walk it, they won't get there, because the other 2 will doubt him and they will try to persuade him. They want to go in the other direction, and he's the only one and the others are 2. So you've got this thing about if you divide 3 into thirds, you have 3 thirds. If 2/3 is of that opinion, they are majority, and they will more or less overpower the minority of the 1/3, the one person that's saying, no, we have to go left and not right. And they said, and if you vary this metaphor about how to walk the way and find your path, if 2 know the way and only 1 does not know the way, the 2 can bring the other one along, because they are majority then. And there's still this point, the one can believe them and try it and look where he will end up, if it's the destination he wanted to go. And if it's not, well, he can turn around and go somewhere else. There's no problem. There's no pushing or forcing. It is just an analogy to show how we are manipulated or influenced, and that we have to stay loyal to our own truth until we reach a bigger truth, the bigger picture maybe. And so I stuck with that, and I was pondering about that, and I found it very interesting. But I still didn't believe, that's the logic problem. There is this old Greek metaphor about, how to put it best. It's a saying about the lie or liars. It starts with something just like they put it as a fact. One thing: all people coming from Crete are liars. So this is put out there. We don't care whether it's true or not. We start just with that. All Cretes are liars. And now imagine you meet a person from Crete and you have this in your head: they're all liars, they're all lying all the time. So what do you do now? You might doubt everything he's saying, or you can give it a try and use your intelligence, your consciousness, or your feeling to check out whether he's telling the truth or not. So there's also this free will or free choice moment. You can't know it all. At one point, sooner or later, you have to give it a try and test it out. And you can be deceived, no problem. If you find out you were deceived, then just turn around and go in the direction you want to go, you want to go to, and where you feel there is truth for you. So I'm still a bit critical about them, but as I learned in my mediumship trainment, if you can't verify the sender of a message, then you have to check the energy. If it's positive and uplifting and feels good, then you can follow it and have your own experience. But if it feels like forceful or pushing or demanding and putting things out that you don't know, but in this manner, like with this finger, like that, I don't feel good with that. I don't like that. I'm a rebellious soul, and I made my best experiences when I didn't listen to this kind of talk. That's also the same talk that's coming from the ego. Oh, you're making this up. This is not true. How can you know that? And blah 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 blah. Okay, so much for that. I hope you find something helpful in it, and I wish you all the best. Have a blessed time, beautiful souls. Bye. Thanks for watching.